Good morning, dear cadets. So we are in the chapter number 14, that is water chapter, and I taught you the water cycle, and in water cycle some processes are involved. So what are the processes which are involved in the water cycle? Evaporation, transpiration, condensation, then precipitation. Okay, so till condensation I covered. Now today I am going to teach you precipitation. Okay, so what is the meaning of precipitation? Just see, in the air what is there? Water are there, water vapor is there. Water vapor is there or not? In upper layer of atmosphere temperature is less, so what should be there? Those water vapor will condensed into small tiny water droplets. Sometime what is happening? These tiny droplets of water coming together and forming big drops, big water droplets. And these big water droplets, when they fall, such drops of water may become so heavy that they begin to fall. So falling of water droplets is called precipitation. Okay, are you getting my point or not? So these water droplets, when they become big in size, so they keep on falling. So that falling water droplets, all falling water drops are called precipitation. Now precipitation may be form of precipitation, form of precipitation. So form of precipitation may be like that. First one is rain. Okay, if precipitated water remain liquid till it reaches the surface of the earth, we called it rain. So okay, water droplets are falling. So water droplets means falling, and before reaching to the surface, if they remain in the liquid form, that is called rain. Second one is, if precipitated water gets frozen, frozen means solid form, before reaching the surface of earth, it is called hail or snow. Especially in winter season you might have seen that hailing is there or snowfall is there. So this is only if precipitated water gets frozen solid before reaching the surface of earth, it is called hail or snow. Next one is dew. During night, the air near the surface become quite cool. Then it condenses to form water droplets. These are called dew. These are called dew. In winter season, in big leaves of plants, if you see, some small droplets of water is found. What are they? That is nothing but a condensed water vapor present in the air, and they happen in night time only. Okay, so these are the various forms of precipitation: rain, hail or snow or dew, DEW, dew. Okay, now what are the sources of water? There are various sources of water on the earth. First one is the river and springs. So in river and spring, many parts of India, people are fetching water from these sources only, rivers and springs. Now ocean and seas, they are the largest source of water, but that water is not fit for drinking. That is salty water, saline water. Okay, snow, just see in the areas like Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, especially in the winter season, snowfall is there or not? So snowfall is there, and after some time when temperature rises, so what would be there? That snow will melt, and that will be the source of water for the people who are staying there or living there. Groundwater is the biggest source for the Indian people. Why? Because rainwater percolate down, and now it get collected in water bearing layers of earth, and that groundwater we are getting through the modes of borewell, hand pump, even wells. Okay, tap water, all those things. Okay, lakes and ponds, In a lot of water is collected in the lakes and ponds also, and people are fetching this one. Rainwater is the biggest source of water. Biggest source of water. There is a one word, water table. Water table. What is this one, water table? Upper limit of underground water is known as water table. Okay, upper limit of underground water is known as water table. Okay, so that is there. Now I will teach you natural calamities. You might have heard about the drought, floods. So these should also be taught. In water chapter they are also included. Always remember, water table varies place to place. Some places water table is above, so people may easily get the water. In some places water table is very deep, so people will get that underground water with the great difficulty. So that is why what should be there? Rainwater should be collected and it should be made to percolate down the earth, so that the water table should always be up. Okay. And because why water table is important? Because groundwater is the biggest source of drinking water. That is why water table should be up, and water table can only be increased when we collect the rainwater. Okay, so remember, this is also one of the important information. Okay, so now natural calamities. So what are the natural calamities? The condition of flooding and drought are called natural calamities. There are so many types of natural calamities: earthquake, volcanic eruptions. But in water chapter we will discuss about such type of natural calamities which arises due to the water, due to over raining or less raining. Okay, so just try to understand. The first one is drought. What is the drought? No rainfall in a year or for long period of time in particular area is called drought. So what is the drought? Drought is the condition in which there is no rainfall in a year or for long period of time in a particular area. That condition is known as drought. Actually, during drought, what is happening? During this condition, rivers, ponds and wells will dry and the water table would lower down. All this will affect the humans, animals and wild plants. So in drought condition, what is happening? There is a sharp decrease in the water table of rivers, ponds, lakes, wells, and resulting into what would be there? Animals, human being will be affected. Okay, will be affected. Not only humans and other animals, plants will also be affected. Plant can only survive or plant can only grow when they are getting the sufficient amount of water. If water they will not get, they will also not survive. Okay, so drought is not only harmful for the humans or animal, it is equally harmful for the plants. Okay, all category of plants, herbs, shrubs and trees. Okay, next one is what are the consequences of drought? There won't be any crops. If particular area is there where drought is prevailed, so crops won't be there. There won't be the availability of food and fodder. In that particular area, food and fodder will also not be available. There may be loss of human life and animals. If drought is prevailed for long period of time, so there may be loss of human life and other animals. Try to understand nowadays what is happening. Because of drought, there is no loss of human life because plenty of grains are available in the country. But just think about those days where or when plenty of grains were not available. Now in India, if you ask to your father, grandfathers, in 62, 67, very severe drought condition was prevailed. At that year, India has imported grains from the America and some other developed countries. Okay. Nowadays, what is there? There is advancement in the technology. There is an increase in the irrigation facility. So, India is self-reliant in terms of grains. Okay. So, this is the consequences of drought. What is the flood? Situation in which there is a rise of water level of rivers, lakes and ponds due to continuous rainfall. So, what is the flood? Flood is nothing but a situation in which there is a rise of water level of ponds, river, lakes due to continuous rainfall. Okay. Earth surface will get laden with water. Everywhere water only. When flood is there, earth surface will be laden with water only. Everywhere water will be there. What are the consequences of flood? Animals living, just see, when everywhere water is there, so it will percolate down or not. So inside the earth, animals are staying and they are getting the air which is trapped inside the holes or pores of soil. When everywhere water will be there, then what is there? Air will come out. When air will come out, all the animals will not get the sufficient air. They will also come out. They will also come out or not. So when they will come out, what should be there? Earth surface, everywhere water is there, they will die. So animals living inside the soil will come out because everywhere water get filled. Okay. Second one thing is loss of human life and property. You might have heard that in India there are certain areas which are highly flood prone areas, and almost every year 10,000, 20,000 people are killed because of deadly flood. Okay. And not only people life is, they are losing their life, public property is also destroyed. Okay. Third one thing is loss of crops. Just see, because of flood what would be there? Crops, even cash crops, they will also be destroyed. Okay. So these are the consequences of flood. And now after consequences, I should teach what are the factors affecting the flood. What are the factors affecting the flood? So there are certain factors which are responsible or which are affecting the flood situation. Type of soil found in that particular area. Now in next year, means in 7th class, you will study the different types of soil like sandy soil, loamy soil, clayey soil. Okay. So just try to understand, flood depends upon type of soil found in that particular area. Like the water absorption capacity of clay soil is highest. So the areas where clay soil is found, those areas are less prone to flood. But sandy soil, their water absorption capacity is very less. In those areas, even small or limited amount of rainfall is there, very easily flood will come. Okay. So soil condition. Next one is intensity and duration of rainfall. Intensity means how much rainfall is there and how much time it has taken. Okay. That also means affect the flood. Intensity and duration of rainfall. Third one is presence of plants and trees on locality. Try to understand, if so many plants and trees are there that particular area, then chances of flood is less. But if trees and plants are not there in that particular locality, so there is a chances of flooding. Okay. So these are the factors and these are the natural calamities. Don't think that only these two are the natural calamities. Many are there. Earthquake, volcanic eruption, forest fire. So many things are there, isn't it? And now what is there? Since we are in the water chapter, then we should discuss these calamities only. Okay. Next one is rainwater harvesting. So the last topic of this chapter is water conservation. What do you mean by water conservation? conserving water, keeping water safe for future generation, that is only water conservation. Okay, each drop of water should be conserved so that it should be available for next generation also. Okay, so we should use water carefully. We should not take care, we should take care that water should not get wasted. We should not waste the water. Okay, especially children, they are playing with the water, they are wasting a lot of water. So we should restrict ourselves to conserve the water. Okay, so ways of water conservation. How can we conserve the water? So water can be conserved by rainwater harvesting technique. Okay, rainwater is the biggest source of water. Okay, so if rainwater is conserved, then what is there? The water table can also be increased. Okay, so what is the rainwater harvesting technique? Catching or collecting rainwater where it falls is called rainwater harvesting technique. Okay, so means catching or collecting rainwater where it falls, that technique is only known as rainwater harvesting technique. Now under rainwater harvesting technique, I can explain you two things. Number one, rooftop water collection. Just see, rooftop, everybody, you people have gone to terrace of your home. Just see, when rain is there, a lot of water is collected at rooftop, and through pipe it is sent out of the house. Now try to understand, if near the foundation of your house small pits are generated, are created, and through pipes same water can be made to fall on that pit, then what should be there? In pit, that water will be collected slowly and slowly, it will percolate down the earth. So groundwater level will increase or not? Water table will increase or not? So what is there? This is one way of rainwater harvesting technique, or one way of conserving the rainwater. Second one is allowing rainwater to directly go into ground. Try to understand here, rainwater is there or not? So just see, it should be collected so that it directly penetrate deep into soil. Okay, it should not washed away, it should not be washed away. What is there? Water is falling and now it is going away. What should be there? Such type of arrangement should be there, that water should be collected in a particular place. Rainwater should be collected in a particular place, and slowly some water will evaporate, but rest of water will be percolated directly down to earth. So in this way also we can conserve the rainwater. So these are the some of the technique of rainwater. Okay, next year in 7th class again such type of technique is there. Drip irrigation. What is the meaning of drip irrigation? That next year you will study. Right now I will give you the idea. Just see what we are doing. If we are watering the plant, what we are doing? Just we are making tubings, small tubings we are making or not? We are keeping pipe there and water is moving. So just see, actually everywhere water is not required. Water is required at the root of plant. So drip irrigation means sending water or giving water directly to the root system of plant, instead of wasting water here and there. So next year all those things you will study. For this year that is enough. Okay, now this is the time to give you some question. Now chapter is completed, means explanation of chapter is completed, only NCERT exercise is left. So some question is, what is precipitation? Write its various form. So I told you rain is there, snow, dew, all these things you should write. I explained what is the meaning of precipitation. What is flood? Write its consequences. I explained. What is drought? Write its consequences. Okay, harmful effect. Okay, what is rainwater harvesting technique? So rainwater harvesting technique is this one only. First define what is rainwater harvesting. Actually here you just write rain, what is rainwater harvesting, okay, that only. So first define the rainwater harvesting, and then what is rainwater harvesting, first write that much question, okay. Give, name some techniques, name some technique of it. So these are the techniques, you can write this one, okay. So in this way chapter is completely completed. Now NCERT exercise tomorrow I will teach you. Thank you.